This video is sponsored by Skillshare.
But yun nga, when I got there, I was the only pol-sci person there. Everyone else was from a business course. But I wanted to learn about investments, so I'm like, okay, I guess I'm here. Yo, what's up friends? Welcome back to this video. If you're new here, what's up? My name's Nicole, and today I want to talk a bit more about internships. So this video is going to be part of an Internship 101 series where I share about the things that I've learned from doing a number of internships over the past few years. I know there aren't a lot of videos talking about this topic, especially here in the Philippines, but it's okay. I got you. So for this video, I decided to make it more of a cuento type thing where I talk lang more in depth about my actual experience with the 6 internships that I've done and currently doing. So when I'm editing my video, I realize that it might seem like I'm flexing all of my internships, but that's not what I want to do. By talking about my own internship experience, what I really wanted to do was open up the discussion and give you guys a better idea of what happens during an internship in case you guys are interested in applying. I thought that by sharing my own experience and what I had to go through in applying for them could give you a better idea of how to navigate your own internship applications. So yeah, I wanted to say that. Goods. Back to the video. So that this video is more organized, this is the flow of what we're gonna be talking about. So I'm gonna start by giving you guys a quick overview of all of the internships that I've done. So what company were they, what was my position, whether it was paid or unpaid, just to give you guys some context. Then I'll be talking about how I applied for each of them. Then once I got the internship, I want to talk about my actual experience working at each of these positions. So how long did it last, what work did I do as an intern, and then also the culture, the vibe, the workplace, just the experience. Woo. But I'm gonna pack it with enough information to make it worth your while. Much exciting! I'll be adding all of my internship-related videos into this playlist because I feel like I'm gonna need to make a lot more of this. Okay, ready? Right, let's get to the meat of the discussion. Let's talk about my internships in chronological order. So start tayo with a bit of context about me. I'm currently a 4th-year student at UP Diliman taking up political science. I've been doing internships since 2018, like after I graduated high school. So my first ever internship was with Muni, and they're essentially an online community that's centered around environmental preservation. They mostly had a social media presence, pero they would hold regular meetups for their members to talk about different environmental topics. I was a content creation and community engagement intern, and I did this internship after I graduated high school, so noong 2018. It was an unpaid internship, but it was like very flexible and mostly virtual naman siya. So how I found out about this internship, the founder was actually an alumna of my high school, and she came to our school kasi to give a talk about what she did. And I remember being so mind-blown hearing her experience and the things that she has done after graduating. So she gave out her email during the talk, but I only contacted her after I graduated high school. When I was gonna reach out to her through a cold email, my mindset was to catch her attention. I didn't want my email to get ignored. At this moment in time, I was pretty passionate about the environment. So I typed out an email, tapos the subject line was something like, I have hots for the environment. I'm interested to intern. Something like that. But in the email I wrote to her, I essentially introduced myself and then explained how I had her contact information and why I wanted to intern. Tapos I attached my CV. She replied pretty quickly and said that she was interested to interview me. So we met up at a cafe, tapos she just asked me about myself, my expectations, my background. It was very chill. It was really more of a get to know. So as for my actual internship experience, it lasted for about 3 months and it happened during the summer before I started college. So the team was pretty small. There was only 4 people working on Muni. There was no office, so essentially it was a virtual internship. We would just meet up at cafes to have meetings. So the kind of work that I did at Muni mostly revolved around social media management. Like I would create different posters and pubs for different events and engagements, and I would also help out during meetups. I would take pictures, prepare for the posters, mga announcements, and during one of the meetups, Jericho Rosales was there. So, but you know what's cooler than Jericho Rosales? See Skillshare, who's very kindly sponsoring this video and giving you guys a free 1-month trial. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of interesting classes where you can learn skills in graphic design, marketing, photography, video production, cooking, and even coding. I know how pressuring it can be when applying for internships, pero regardless of what position you're applying for, it's definitely helpful to learn a range of skills to help prepare you for the work that you'll be doing. School can only teach you so much kasi ako personally, majority of the things that I know now are the things that I learned myself online. Kaya I've partnered up with Skillshare to give the first 1,000 of you guys a free 1-month trial when you sign up through the link in the description. So here are some classes I recommend you guys check out. So the first one is on social media strategy by Gary Vaynerchuk, who I think is the king of social media marketing. Dami ko natutunan from him. The next one is on coding by Rich Armstrong. This class will teach you how to hand code your first ever website with HTML and CSS, web development skills. And then the third one is this productivity masterclass by Ali Abdal because everyone needs it. There's just a lot of classes to choose from on Skillshare, and 1 month is a pretty long time to really maximize that free trial. So enjoy!
Thank you again to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. So my second internship was a corporate internship. It was with BPI AMTC. So we know that BPI is one of the largest banks here in the Philippines, and I interned at their investment arm. If you've ever bought UITFs from BPI, that's where I interned. I was an equity research analyst intern, and I did this internship during the summer after my first year of college. And it was an unpaid internship, but I had co-interns who were paid because they applied through the official internship program, AGSIP. So how I found out about this internship, I'm part of an org kasi, and in our Facebook group, someone posted that BPI was looking for interns. So I sent a cold email expressing my interest, and then I said that I heard about the internship program, I wanted more details because I was interested. So they replied, and they essentially said that in the internship program, we're only going to be doing real investment stuff. And if ever I was interested, I can come by the office to learn more about it. But yun nga, when I got there, I was the only pol-sci person there. Everyone else was from a business course. But I wanted to learn about investments so I'm like, okay, I guess I'm here. Nagulat ako kasi sabi nila experience, diba? So I was expecting na I go to the office to get a tour and then also be briefed on the internship program. But no, we had a group interview. Like, we went to a meeting room. Tapos they started asking us questions about our resumes, about our background. Tapos also testing our knowledge on equities, stocks, different investments. I was very lucky kasi during this time, I was already starting to dabble and learn about investments. So I was able to answer their questions even though none of them were taught in my course. But still, after the interview, I felt kind of worried. So after I left, I sent in like a thank you email. They didn't say anything for about 2 weeks until one day I opened my email and I saw na, congrats, you passed the first interview. As for my actual experience, the internship lasted for about 2 months. The vibe, the workplace, it was your typical corporate environment. We even had to wear like corporate attire. And just to share now, I have like a notebook of my notes and my learnings during the internship program. Let's look for notes. Hawkish, dovish monetary policy, inverted yield curve, DuPont analysis. Sobrang nosebleed ko during this internship, I swear. Because we were interns, the work that we did didn't really have much impact on the company. It's a big office. But yun nga, we were exposed to the different functions that they did at AMTC. Credit renewals, we also learned how to use the Bloomberg terminal. And then there were these weekly morning meetings with the VP where they would grill us interns about the latest finance news and ask us to hypothesize why the markets were moving a certain way on a certain day. So they had us work on a capstone project as interns, and mine, I was tasked to create a valuation report on shaky stock, which was super hard to do as a non-business major. But yeah, big learning experience with lots of nosebleed, for sure. And then my third internship was at MedGrocer. They're a healthcare startup, but not so much a startup, they're big now. My position was an IT and design intern, and I did this internship last year. I was chatting with a friend kasi about life plans, and I was telling him na I was interested in learning more about startups. I wanted to like meet people, network with people. And then he told me about his experience interning at MedGrocer and that I should go because he had a great experience. So I reached out to the founder and sent in a connection request on LinkedIn. And then he saw my profile and he invited me over to the office for a chat. So yun, I went to the office, I chatted with him, we had a conversation. After our conversation, he said that I seemed like I would be a good fit at like their company. So he offered, if ever you're interested, you can come intern here. So I sent in my CV. I received an email from their HR inviting me to come over to the office for a series of interviews. But yeah, when I went to the office, they made us take a test. And when I passed that test, I went through like an initial screening interview. But the thing was, the day after, the entire Metro Manila went on lockdown. So everything was like on panic mode. There was a lot of delays, but I eventually got the internship. As for my actual internship experience, the internship lasted for about 3 months, from May to July. This was my first virtual internship, but I really wanted to make the most out of my time there. So I wanted to make paramdam as an intern na I exist, I am here, I'm an intern, and I'm here to learn. So I would like message people from the company and then ask them if it would be okay to get on a call because I wanted to learn more about the work that they did. So I designed different posters, slides, infographics. But for the IT part, no, the project that they assigned to me was to code with the use of Google Apps Script. Google Apps Script is a scripting platform by Google, and you can essentially code mini programs so that you can automate the things that you would do with Google Apps. I have zero knowledge in code, but I was really interested in learning. Grabbing hirap, I took so long in figuring it out, but I was able to do it. I worked on 2 Google Apps Script projects. So for my 4th and 5th internship, I interned at PDAX. They're a local cryptocurrency exchange, and this was my longest internship experience. I interned there for almost a year. Pero 2 parts yung internship ko. So for the first part, I was a business development intern. It was a paid position and it was also a virtual internship. So how I found out about them was also through a friend. So I've already known about PDAX since 2019 pa, but it was only last year, if you guys remember, early on, I started getting really interested in learning about cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, Ethereum, those kinds of things. So me and my friend would often talk about cryptocurrencies because we were both interested in it. And he just happened to be working at PDAX and he was inviting me to come intern so that I can learn more about cryptocurrencies. At the time, my channel was relatively new, but PDAX was one of the first few sponsors I had in my videos. I was starting to talk about cryptocurrencies and this caught the CEO's attention, like how I talked about cryptocurrencies in general. So as for my actual experience, it lasted for about 4 months, from August to December. As for the culture at the workplace, it had the startup vibe where everything was so fast-paced. I also didn't feel the hierarchy, I didn't feel like an intern, and I was given control over the projects that I was working on. I worked on PDAX Learn, so essentially developing a platform that would teach Filipinos about cryptocurrency. But then I was also involved in a number of sub-projects. It was really nice because I was being invited to different meetings, different projects that were being worked on, and my inputs as an intern were being valued. But yeah, that was part 1. I ended my internship in December. I didn't think I would come back. But yeah, in January, I had a catch-up call with one of the heads of the other team members. Casual lang. We've had some brief encounters during my internship because yeah, he was mostly somewhat of a mentor figure for me. And he was telling me about the different projects that they wanted to work on, and he was inviting me nga to come join again, this time part of his team, so that we can work on other projects. It wasn't a free pass, I still had to send in my resume, but yeah, we had a brief interview and I eventually got the internship. It lasted from about February until July. Even though this was the same company, I had a totally different experience. As for the kind of work that I did, it was mostly on strategy. So my project was revamping the customer service processes. So the thing was that the processes that the CSR had was slightly inefficient and it needs fixing. So our team had to step in to kind of rebuild the foundations and then also come up with a plan to address all of the problems that were happening. Out of all of my internships, this was probably the more complex things that I've done in an internship. It was a super nice internship. I really learned a lot and made me realize that I want to work at a startup environment. And now here we are to the present, my 6th. I'm with Taxumo. My position is a junior growth officer under the marketing department. I started in July and it's still ongoing. It's a virtual internship and it's also paid. So as for the application process, I wasn't the one who contacted them. So the co-founder was the one actually who reached out to me and invited me to come join their team. I've actually interacted with one of the co-founders na before, and I also used Taxumo to file and pay my taxes. I can't talk so much about this internship yet because it's ongoing. I'm an intern right now. But at least what I can say is that I have total ownership of my project. It's pretty flexible. I'm also juggling classes kasi, and they're very considerate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 internships. That's my experience. For those of you guys who have been curious for such a long time at what I do when I say that I'm doing my internship work, hopefully medyo nagkaroon ng transparency and understanding on what you do with internships. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys learned something new. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.